Come on, Diesel. Good boy. Good boy. Now, it's been ages since I filmed the last Q&A, so I figured what a good weekend to get one done. I put up a poll on Instagram last night and or a questionnaire thing, and a lot of you guys have asked some pretty good questions, so we'll go through that today. We'll talk about the future of the channel, the future of the builds, what we're doing with this thing, how the 4J is going, because that is a question that gets asked all the time. So we'll talk about basically anything on the channel. I might give you guys a little run around of some things around here. One thing that was really cool in the last episode, we did have my dad in it, and a lot of you guys really like Dad. So I'm planning on getting him into some more videos and also maybe take him camping or full driving, because he's actually never been proper full driving. So it'd be really cool to see his reactions on the tracks. But yeah, I really like when you guys let me know in the comments what you think about certain things, so I can keep doing those certain things. So it was great to hear that you all like Dad, and we'll definitely have him back on the channel. And the other thing is the color of the GQ. Man, I was so bloody stressed about picking the right color and something that would look really nice. Red is my favorite color. And burgundy red just looks so good with chrome and black. So I'm really happy with the colorway, and I'm really, really happy that everyone likes it. And yeah, thanks for letting me know about all those little things. Man, I am running out of tools that are clean. Where are we gonna sit? I think right here would be all right. Now, I think we'll get straight into the questions that got fired at me on Instagram. So I'll load them up now. But yeah, thanks everyone for asking a question too. Means a lot. Right, so the 4J Patrol asks, what's your plans for scrub bars and what's your plans for a roof rack or a touring setup? Now, I'm on the fence about the I assume this is about the GQ anyway, but I'm on the fence about what to do with the GQ. I was thinking that I might be able to put like a mattress in the back of it and do a little bit of a solo camping car. That way I can take Dad camping, we can film that. I can also take Diesel camping, we can do solo missions by myself, and really start actually getting this channel out into the roaming of life. That would be nice, because I do spend a lot of time in the shed. I do love building cars, but I would obviously prefer to be out on the road. So yeah, touring setup would be sick. As for scrub bars and brush bars, I have no idea, haven't really thought about that. I would kind of like some scrub bars and rear brush bars. Everyone knows that the rear ones are hard to do on patrols, or they're hard to make them look right as well. But yeah, I'd definitely like to do that. And for the roof rack, I hate roof racks. But yeah, it's a possibility. If we do a rooftop tent, obviously you have to have a roof rack. But yeah, don't know about that one yet either. Do it in the dirt. Jeffy boy asks, when are you taking the GQ up Big Red? That would be a firm never, Jeff. I'm never going up Big Red in my entire life. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. It's pretty scary, especially what happened to KP built. We all know about that one. Are you color matching the gull wings, and what motor setup? Now, the motor setup at the moment is the TD42, just because I already have it. I am not making a lot of money, so I can't afford to go out and put a Barra or LS1 in it or anything like that. We've already got the TD, it'll be going back in, but we are doing a 11mm, a bigger turbo and a new clutch on it. And yeah, so TD42, bit of power, probably 170 horse, something like that, nothing crazy. But yeah, miss me old TD in coal, so it'd be nice to have another one back on the channel here. Rifle asks, do you have a day job or full-time YouTube? Yes, I do work full-time. I do 4 days a week though, so Tuesday to Friday. I spend Saturday, Sunday, Monday doing YouTube pretty much. So I film either Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes you guys probably know that it drags out, like I do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But yeah, typically I'll film Saturday, Sunday, edit Monday. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's definitely the hardest I've ever worked in my life, actually. Ben Skur asks, what do you do for work? So I'm basically a small engine sort of hydraulic mechanic. I fix pressure cleaners, so industrial style pressure cleaners, motors with pumps. I also am the manager there, so I've been there a long time. It's a great job, actually. It's always different, always fixing different stuff. Kind of how I've learnt to do a little bit of everything. I'm not like a master in one thing. I just dabble in a little bit of everything. So it's nice that I get to do a job like that. Rough cost for the 4J conversion and the hardest part of it. I'm going to say the hardest part for my 4J conversion was the electrical side of things. Now, I'm all right with 12 volt, but My car's on CAN bus, which means that it's like ones and zeros, like computer programming stuff. So we did have to get modules to make the dash work, and just kind of wire it up a little bit different. Also having the transmission in there, so it's an auto trans, means that I did have to buy a TCM to make everything talk to each other, because the 4J doesn't know what the auto's doing and vice versa. So yeah, probably just the wiring and whatnot of it. And the other question of that was the rough cost. Rough cost is hard for me because I work with the companies that supply the stuff. So look, I'm going to guess if you did it at home for the setup that I have, you're going to be about $10,000 to $15,000 if you do it all yourself. Monkey Bus says, what's the full plan with the GQ? Build it and then what? A couple bush sends or get rid of it? This thing popped up, like you guys probably do this all the time. You sit at home and you just refresh Marketplace, or you're bored and you just jump on Marketplace. I seen this thing pop up and the guy had no idea what it was. So it was obviously a GQ. So he listed it as a GQ Patrol, 1989. There was no mention that it was a TD42. There was just a little photo where the bonnet popped and I could see one of the injector lines. So I sort of knew it was a TD straight away. So I called him up, raced out there. I paid $3,000 for it. And there was absolutely no plan. It was just like, holy crap, bargain, let's go get it. You know, everything's kind of snowballing from there, as it typically does. I didn't have any plans. I don't really have, still don't really have any plans. I'm just building the car. But I do want to do some touring. I'd love to get Dad involved. I want to get Diesel involved. I want to get my kids involved as well. Now that we're going to have the 2 cars, we've got 2 kids, I'm thinking that Alicia can take the GU camping, I can take the GQ, so we might do some family trips but have 2 cars on that trip. That way if one gets stuck, you know, we can use the winch, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think it'll be really fun to do some touring, some local stuff, get Alicia involved, you know, kids involved, all that sort of stuff, and get the cars out there. Samullen, I hope I'm saying that right. Please, what happened to the mighty Triton? I miss it. I still have the Triton. I drive it almost to work every day, but lately I've been taking the GU. But yeah, I still do dump runs in it. I use it just like for stuff around the house. If we're taking palm trees or picking parts up, stuff like that, I use the Triton for that. The reason I don't drive it as much as I'd like to is the windscreen is leaking. So with all the wet weather that we've had, I sit inside there, it's like a puddle at my feet. So it's not the nicest thing to drive. There's no aircon. But yeah, she's a tough old girl and I don't think I'm going to get rid of it anytime soon. It's kind of just like my 6x4 box trailer that's sitting out the back. What fuel pump turbo power mods are you going to be running on the GQ? So actually been chatting to P4x4 about what setup we're going to run. So the good thing about Performance 4x4 is they kind of build the pump to suit what you want. So we had a good chat. We kind of agreed on the 170 horsepower mark. So that means 11mm boost comp pump, a 16G turbo, and we need a new clutch as well. So around that 170 mark will be basically where we're going to go. I was originally going to open the motor up and do bearings and stuff like that, but I think we might just leave it closed and just whack the turbo on, whack the pump on, and see how long she lasts. If it does blow up, or you know, it's not as healthy as I think, we might go down the road of an engine swap or something later on. But for now, we will have the 170 horsepower package bolted on, and she'll be a weapon. Zach Mack, what's the haps with the big Trito? Everyone loves the Trito. Maybe we've got to get the Trito in for another few little episodes. Maybe we get, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 and spend it on the Triton again. See if we can pretty her up a little bit more and make it a little bit more comfortable. You guys let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more of the Triton, if you want to see it as like a budget build or out on the tracks camping or, you know, anything like that. Just let me know. Has there been any issues with the 4JJ1 Patrol since the swap? That's from Cooper Peterson. Coops, there has not been one single issue. How good is that? I haven't had one problem with the 4J. I did some transmission tuning not too long ago, so I can actually Bluetooth to the transmission. So yeah, not one single issue, but a little bit of tuning here and there on the trans, and now she drives so friggin' nice. I've got the overdrive set to perfect. I've got everything, you know, dialed in now, and it is an absolutely awesome car to drive. WTRS GQ asks, my question is, for you to follow me back on Instagram. Let's go, mate. Let's do it. Where's your account? View profile. Follow back. There you go, brother. Alex Bazza asks, are you going to keep the new build for your son when he's older? Look, it probably is, that's 15 years away. Probably not, but I would love to build both my sons a car. And they're probably going to be into some different stuff at that point. And it's going to be a hard sell to get the Patrol or a GQ across the line. But we will try. We will try to make them drive GQs. Thomas Russell asks, any trips planned? I don't have any trips planned. And that's the sad thing at the moment. I'm just trying to get through a little bit of work here and there. With the 2 kids, we've got a baby as well. So it's kind of hard to plan the trips. I'm also working a lot at the moment. So yeah, it's a little bit of a hard one. I would love to do more trips if we had more time to do it and the kids were a little bit older. But I am planning on doing some solo trips, like I said, with Dad and the dog and whatnot. And if the family wants to come, I'd love for the family to come as well. Osvar asked, do you still have the Triton? Answered that before. It's funny how many people like the Triton. Such a good old rig. Stuart Douglas, how's your chest going? Healing all good? Yeah, I might show you guys because it's actually healed up really nice. Now, if you don't know, I had a bit of an accident with a grinder and cut myself there. I had 15 stitches, so you can see right there, it healed up good. It was a little bit brutal. What happened? If you don't know, I was grinding without a shield on the grinder, and the grinder caught and went straight into my chest, caught my shirt, and wound up. I had 15 stitches. So when I was painting this car, I did have 15 stitches 3 days before that in my chest. So I was in a lot of pain painting the car, and the sweat was like going down in it and the paint was going in it, and it wasn't a good time. But I didn't want to whinge on camera, except for the fact that I'm whinging right now. But yes, mate, it's going really good. I'm very lucky, and at home, if you are grinding, put your bloody shields on. How you went with the engineering process, if it's engineered, I assume that's on the 4J. The engine conversion was super easy, so you just get an engineer involved, keep them like posted with what you're doing, and they'll come out and put a blue plate on it. I do have the Superior Engineering 4-inch lift in the car, and that is engineerable on 35s. But I do have to swap the bead locks out for regular wheels before I take it in there, which is something that I will be doing. And then that will be legal as well. And then the whole car will basically be legal. Joel185 said, how do you balance YouTube with 2 kids and a full-time job? I guess the answer to that is you don't. It's a mess. It's a lot of work. I'm friggin' working so much lately. And it's hard. Like, you guys sort of see, the one video, but painting this took 4 weekends of doing 3 days every week, and then I go back to work. So it basically just worked for a month straight to get the car painted for one video. But I love what I do. I wouldn't have it any other way. Are you going to do anything different with the motor to the Q-Bus, like a LS swap or Barra swap? Not at the moment, but the engine bay will be set up so we can put any motor in super quickly, and it won't be too much of a hassle. So yeah, sort of future-proofing the engine bay to suit whatever motor we want to put, but at the moment it will be the TD42 just for a budget reason. What's your lift size and shock lengths? God. On the GU, the lift size is 4-inch, and the shock lengths are the 6-inch shocks. I don't know the open and closed lengths, but they are the 6-inch 2.0 remote res from Superior. But it gets plenty of travel. It is part of that 4-inch kit, so it's all engineerable. Plenty of travel. I got the Superflex sway bars in. And they are awesome as well. And they allow for 11 inches of travel, I believe, as well. So it's at least got 11 inches. So Trevi CO7 says, what's your next choice of motor if you didn't go with the 4J? It's kind of a hard one, because I look at the budget, I look at the fuel consumption, all of that in a package. If I had endless budget, just endless budget, I probably would go a 1HD FTE out of a Land Cruiser. But if budget was a thing still, it probably would have been Barra. The reason I didn't go the Barra is because of the fuel consumption, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I don't really know what would have actually been next if I couldn't have done the 4J. I probably would have just built the ZD, to be honest. Oliver Stewart says, what rear bar are you going for the GQ, and when do you think the build will be done? I'd like the build to be on the road I'm not saying that it'll have bar work at this point, but at least registered and the engine running and in the engine bay and whatnot. I'd like to have that done by July. I really like Star Cruise rear bar. I was thinking about messaging him. What else? I don't know. I think maybe custom. I really like Stealth bar as well. Stealth plate bar. I really got to decide if I want to go tube or plate for this build. I've got tube sliders coming. But yeah, don't know for the rear bar yet. Good question. Eddie Pick 91 says, any regrets with the 4J in the GU and still running the kettle in the GQ? Sort of answer the kettle one. The 4J in the GU, any regrets? No. It has honestly been such a... I've done 20,000 Ks in it since we done the conversion. I've driven it to work almost every day. The only regret I have over the whole thing is not painting the engine bay black when I had everything out of it. I wish I did that. I thought about it at the time, I just couldn't be bothered. But no regrets with the choice of motor because I'm getting 10 litres to the 100. It makes 270 horsepower on 35s. It's very snappy because it's auto. It just pulls like a freight train. The auto trans is like shifting perfectly. Yeah, it is a really, really good build. What gun, compressor, etc. did you use for the paint on the GQ? Under the bench that you were just sitting on is a Puma air compressor. This thing is pretty old, but it's a 2-piston V11, it says there, and just got a little water air separator and a gauge there. I think I was running 35 PSI through a work quip gun, which is right there. So just work quip. It's a very cheap gun. I did do a little bit of research recently. Some of the guns on Alibaba and Temu and stuff like that are quite good. There's a few videos on YouTube of people testing those guns. So Alibaba paint gun, I think I typed in. And there's a few of them that are a lot better than that. Jake Ray MTB says, biggest regret with the GU build. Honestly, I don't have a regret with that build. I don't have any regrets. I would like it to be painted. I know a lot of people like the gold. I don't think the gold's too bad, but it would be nice to get a custom color on there. I guess probably the one regret would be to focus a little bit more on tidying up that wiring. I feel like I did a decent job with the wiring, but it could have been that little bit better. It's a little bit hard what I'm doing. I'm trying to like film content and try to do it in one weekend and then get a video out in that one weekend. So it is a little bit hard. I am on a time crunch, but I guess the one regret would be to spend more time on it, but then the videos would be really delayed. Angus Voss said, why'd you go 4J over, say, a Barra or LS swap? So I kind of brushed over that before. The 4J, it's a $4,000 motor, right? So $4,000 junkyard motor. It's got bolt-ons and it makes 260, 270 horsepower. It feels really good to drive and it gets 10 litres to the 100. If you go a Barra, yeah, you're going to get more power. The torque I made off the 4J, the dyno did say 900 Newton meters, but we did think the dyno was reading weird that day. We had a few troubles with how it was reading. So I think it's more around that 800, 770, something like that, Newton meters. So to get that out of a Barra, you do have to push the power quite high. Now the Barras are good, but you know, they're good for a higher rev range where this the limiter is set to like 3,800, I believe, or 4,000, where the Barra you're going to go up to 7,000, 8,000 or whatever they go to get that sort of you know, to the power band is a lot longer is what I'm trying to say. So they drive a lot different off-road. This, you can kind of like idle up stuff. A Barra, I'd imagine you'd have to rev it up a little bit more. That's why a lot of people would be putting reduction gears in the transfer case in a Barra swap. I think a Barra is still a great option. They used to be really, really cheap, but now with everyone doing the conversions, they're not as cheap. With Barra swaps, there is a lot of them come up for sale. So you see it all the time. GU Patrol build, 3 months old, fresh Barra swap, it's up for sale. So I'd imagine that the fuel consumption or something people aren't happy with after the conversions because it just pops up all the time for sale. Blakeios.21 says, what do you think are the most important things when you are building your first full drive? Look, my answer will change for this probably every year for the rest of my life. At the moment, I feel like if it's your first full drive, you're probably on your P's. Potentially not, but let's say you're on your P's. I'd say at the moment, man, just keep it legal. Like go a 2-inch lift. You don't need to go 4 to 6 inches of lift. So yeah, probably just a small lift, some nice wheels, tires, and do a UHF. A UHF's a great first mod. Super easy to put in when you go full driving with your mates. It's an awesome thing to have. It sucks not being able to hear your friends. Mason Rapley asked, how much did the 4J conversion cost from the engine removal all the way up to the dyno? I think I answered that before, didn't I? It's about, I'm going to say, let's say, tuned and everything, 15K. I'm going to say that, but might be wrong. Tyler Lacey, not GU or GQ related, but do you ever see yourself doing YouTube full-time in the future? Great question. Yes, I do. I would like to eventually own a shop as well where we do one-off custom builds for customers. That would be the end goal of this channel is take on other people's builds for them, but sort of do these like really unique builds, not just like ARB bolt and bull bars on and stuff. Sort of like what I've been doing, but just for other people. But yeah, full-time YouTube, but also, yeah, definitely, 100%. Liam Nash, 2009 says, are you going to put a snorkel on? If so, what type? Yeah, I'd love to go some snorks on the car behind me. It will be stainless and it will be from King Fab Customs because they are legends and they do the best work possible. So that is where the car will go. If we do go snorkels, it will definitely be going down to Matt. Brendan Werry, how do you learn everything you do about cars? Honestly, mate, I look at YouTube videos. I do a lot of research. Laying in bed at night, I'm always on my phone. Let's say if I'm doing the video for the lockers, I watch locker videos. I watch how to do it. I read how to do it, and then I come in and film it and act like I know what I'm doing. Lucas Appleton, how do I start getting into this type of work? That is honestly a great question, and I'd love to make a whole video about this, which we might do in the future. Once again, let me know if you would like to see that. But if you want to start getting into this type of work, the best way to do it is to buy an absolute bucket of crap GQ Patrol because it forces you to do it. No, I'm just joking. What you probably should do is if you got mates who are working on their cars, go around, give them a hand. That's a good way to learn, especially if they already know how to work on their car. That way you're not paying for it as well. But if you have your own car, just try and do little stuff. Watch YouTube videos on how to do it. One thing I really suggest though is getting yourself a good set of tools. It doesn't have to be good actually. Go into like super cheap. Sometimes they do 30% off sales for Father's Day, Boxing Day and stuff like that. Just buy like, a couple $100 here and there worth of tools. Save up, get them because tools will make your quality of work so much better. It's really, really hard to do the work properly without the correct tools. So think about tools as an investment into learning and your future. That's how I think about it. And buy the right tools for the right job. If you're getting into wiring, go buy some wiring strippers, go buy a soldering iron. These sort of things will make your work quality so much better, and using the right tools is definitely the way to go. I started working on cars. I had no money for tools. I used to borrow tools. So yeah, definitely 100% get the tools. Then you can start doing the work. Clayton Atkinson, when's the Triton getting sass? Now that was an idea, and I was actually talking to a guy who sasses Hiluxes, but it's kind of fizzled out at the moment. But we can dream about it. It might happen in the future. It would be absolutely hilarious if we sass the Triton. Geelers says, best mod to make a GQ stop driving like shit. Could be so many things. Normally what I see is the death wobbles on a GQ or any Patrol is normally the radius arm bushes. So people put 2-inch coils or 3-inch coils in, but then they don't change the radius arm bush to get the caster correction right, or the bushes just get flogged out because they've been over tightened or they're just old. If you do have a lift kit in there, call Superior and chat to them, say you think it's 2-inch, or do some measurements and get the correct bushes sent up for your radius arms. How many Patrols have you owned, and would you LS barra swap a Patrol? Would I ever barra swap and LS swap? Yes, I absolutely would, but it would be a complete weekend warrior or drag car or something like that, because they do make good power, those motors. But I'm kind of that guy that's in the mindset of if you want a fast car, buy a fast car. If you want a fast full drive, it's not going to be a full drive. That's kind of how I think about it. I like old school Jap cars as well, the old rice burners. So, you know, one day I'll probably buy an R32 Skyline, and I'll just have it in here with a RB25 in it, and it'll be fast. And if I want to go fast, I'll drive that car. If I want to go slow, I'll drive one of my full drives. Tyler Nordine says, will you be running a bull bar? And if so, what bar? Yeah, I will be running a bull bar on the front of this thing. I think it needs it. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I think it needs a low cut one. Like I was going to do a chrome grille and then a low cut bull bar, so you can see a lot of the patrol rather than have like the big angry 3-hoop one on it like we kind of have on the GU. So I was thinking a little bit different. Do like, yeah, just a low bar, maybe no hoops and a winch up front. Zach Rides MTB says, do you prefer chopped or wagon patrols? Oh, look, I'm a fan of both, eh? Like, if you're going out glassy all the time or, you know, to your local tracks, chop patrol with a tray is ideal because you're not worried about panel damage. If you're doing stuff like I've got, like you got 2 kids, you got a dog, you got a lot of stuff to take if you go camping, I think the wagons are the way to go. I like the look of wagons a little bit more, but once again, if there's a nice chop patrol, I can't go past that either. Marty says, what's the plan for the motor in the queue? Well, we brushed past that, Marty. Actually, Marty, you're a legend. You always comment on my stuff. So thanks for that, mate. I honestly really appreciate it. Oh, Theodore, any updates on the Tritos? We are going to have to get the Triton in here for another few episodes, I think. Maybe we get Dad in. That's a good idea. We'll get Dad in, and Dad and I will work on the Triton with a very, very small budget, and then we'll go camping in it. How good would that be? Blake.108 says, can the GU skid, or are we too cool for school? Well, yes, it definitely skids. The other day I put my foot down over a bridge, and it peeled both the tyres completely off the road, so that was pretty fun. He also asked, rooftop tent or swag? Oh, God, Blake, you've put 6 questions in, mate. I will answer them all, though. Rooftop tent or swag? Rooftop tent. We need a Toyota in the group. I agree. He also said, we need a ute. We got the Triton. Need motor plans for the GQ. Well, we kind of brushed past that as well. And what's the other plans for the GU? Now, that is a good question, Blake. The only plans for the GU moving forward are some custom-made mud flaps. The other thing is I would really like to either get it wrapped or painted, but at the moment that is way on the back burner. But if any painters out there want to paint the GU for me, you can, because I hate friggin' painting. The only other plan, mate, would be to do a 12-volt setup and draw setup in the back. Now, I don't want it to be over the top, red vision, red arc, this, that, all the stuff that I would never buy if I didn't have a YouTube channel. But I do want to keep it super budget, super, you know, achievable for the average person to do, and obviously fully custom. Porter says, not a question, but I just want to say you're absolutely killing it, and I love watching your vids. Love heart. Nick, that is amazing, mate. I honestly love hearing that sort of stuff. It fills my cup, as they say. Diesel wanted to come say g'day to the Q&A today. It's so funny how a lot of you guys watch Diesel just walking around the shed in the back of the episodes. He literally just cruises around, he lays under the car. He's almost always in here, except for when I'm painting and welding and stuff like that. I have to kick him out, but he's honestly just always moping around. He's going down now to lay under the patrol again. Josh Melly55 says, I have a 2018 D-Max. What remap do you recommend in the 4J? I tow a camper trailer and also commute to work. That's actually a great question. What you really should do is go and chat to a tuner. If you are in Queensland, then I highly recommend Desta. Like Emmanuel at Desta Automotive is just amazing. He's so passionate about doing this, and you know that passion turns into quality of work because he's just... Angus Knight says, would you ever come to Tassie? So Angus, I've actually been to Tassie 3 times. I've just never filmed it. I would like to come back down again and do some of the tracks. I don't really have the time to do it at the moment. Like I can't really get the time off work to go and do some of these trips. The time that I get off work is generally over Christmas, and Christmas is just crazy everywhere, as we all know. But yeah, I'd definitely love to start doing more touring and, you know, get out and about. Kieran's Existence, what advice would you give someone who is wanting to start on YouTube? Oh, that's a really good question. So advice would be, just use your phone. Don't stress about having the best camera gear. Don't go out and spend $3,000 on a drone and $3,000 on a camera and then start doing it. If you've got a good iPhone or a good Samsung, or even if you go to upgrade your phone, I think is a smarter idea. And just get a mic and get your phone so your audio is good, your quality of video is good, and just start going out and filming what you want and just try and have fun with it. Think about it as not a job, which is something that I really struggle with. I think of this as a job instead of trying to have fun. One thing I will say is there is plenty of room on YouTube, especially for more four-wheel drivers. So if you are at home thinking about doing YouTube, 100% do it. I'm happy to answer any questions moving forward as well with people wanting to start their channel up. Darcy N80, have you still got the trailer? Yes, we still have the camp trailer. It's just tucked behind the shed just to the left of me here. We are planning on doing a few more trips with it, and we are also we've got something planned to potentially give the trailer away to one of you guys as well. So that is all moving forward in the background at the moment. I've been having meetings and interviews with this product that we are releasing. So yeah, hopefully that works and you guys get involved with the giveaway. And I don't want to be a giveaway channel. This is something that I should say. But to generate more revenue and get more content and yeah, potentially grow this channel and take it to the next level, we do need the revenue, and I'm not making it at the moment. So yeah, we're sort of redesigning the whole brand, redesigning my website, and we're getting a product out as well, which is very exciting. I won't talk about it just yet, but it is in the final stages. And yeah, then we will be releasing that and then potentially giving the trailer away, because it is too small for us as a family of four now as well. So what we will do is if the giveaway is successful, we'll give that away, generate the revenue, and then use the revenue straight back into the channel, and we'll build something that is more suitable to us now. Ethan Miller, are you going to get a Land Cruiser? Yeah, look, I'd love to do a 60 series. They are my favorite Land Cruisers. Mac and TJ are doing one at the moment. That is awesome. I love seeing it. But yeah, I'd love to do a 60, and I would also love to do a 45. Sort of nothing newer than that. I don't really like the shapes of them personally. I do like 105s actually, so I would do a 105, but it's too similar to my GU and stuff. But yeah, I definitely plan on stepping out of the patrol world at some point though. That would be nice. Small GQ, what's the plan for the rig? Tourer or flexi 4x4? Anything you regret doing? Look, I'm doing things a little bit backwards with this GQ. Typically, you probably wouldn't get it painted and do the engine bay and all that before you have the motor built, blah, blah, blah. But that's probably something I regret. I wish I had a bit more order to the way I do things. But, you know, I just wake up on a Saturday and I go in the shed and I film what I film. And I don't really regret it. But, yeah, to have some order with how I'm doing things and to do it a little bit smarter would be nice. But yeah, with the plans for it, it's going to be like a bit of both. I like having that universal build, something that is a tourer but can also do the hard tracks. So this thing is twin locked. It is getting a better suspension setup than the GU as well. So twin lock, have really good suspension. It's going to be a tourer as well. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting when this is done. It's just going to be like the perfect all-rounder. John CM91 from the USA. Can you explain pre-rego and the engineering thing? All right, how do I do this? I don't know too much about it, but basically in Australia, they have very strict laws on how you can modify your car. Now, they sort of change with how new the car is as well, because there's different standards as the years go on. The pre-rego stuff allows you to have the car chopped up into a million pieces and put back together by a reputable place that is allowed to do it. You can go, I believe, like 6-inch on 37s or something like that now. And if you do that pre-rego and then get it registered, it means that the car came like that. So you're allowed to then drive it, which is so silly that you can't then build a car the exact same after you've registered it and get it engineered. Explain that one to me. Woody04, are you planning on keeping the GQ for a bit or dedicated mud pig? No, we will be keeping it. We're actually thinking about selling the missus car and keeping the two patrols in the family for a lot longer, because I've just got so many hours in it. Dad's been involved in it now, so it's getting too sentimental to let it go. One Ashton buyer. What colour is the car painted? So this car's name, if everyone doesn't know already, is Ron Burgundy. It is painted in a burgundy single stage metallic paint. And I'm not giving you the paint code because it's unique. Unique New York. What made you want to start YouTube? By Kevo8458. Look, the missus actually is the one who sort of pushed me to do it at the start, because I was working on my cars so much at the time. I had the Navara, had a jet ski, and I was always tinkering and always modifying stuff. And then she said, why don't you just film it and put it up on YouTube? So we bought a GoPro, did a few travel episodes, but then my shed episodes started to do a lot better than the travel ones. And so, yeah, just kind of evolved from that into my shed episodes. Kai Longstaff says, are you still going to use the GQ as a glassy rig after what happened to KP's GU? That's actually a great question, because when you watch that video from Keegan rolling his car down Big Red, it definitely puts things into perspective of how safe you should be. None of us have roll cages in our car. None of us have harnesses and stuff like that. Whereas if you look in the United States, you know, they've all got roll cages. They've all got bucket seats with harnesses. Their safety's way up there on ours. But then that's where the engineering stuff comes in, because you've got to engineer your roll cage, you've got to engineer your harnesses. And it's, you know, it just makes the whole process of being safe too hard, so no one does it. I kind of look at tracks like Big Red as the consequences, and I actually said this in the episode we last did with the GU at Glasshouse. I said the consequences of this track are huge, and that's why I'm not driving it. If you roll down that track, we all seen what happened to Keegan's car. They're so lucky to not be hurt from that. And you know, I've got kids, I've got a life, and I don't want to just throw it away just to go up a hill. But I do love full driving as well, so it's kind of a hard trade-off. What are your plans for the suspension setup on the GQ? Look, I don't want to give too much away, but it's quite similar to what I have in the GU, but it's a little bit different setup at the front. So it's going to be, it's not going to be big. It's 2-inch. I will give that away. So 2-inch lift. We're going low and wide with this build. It's a little bit different. What are you doing, Diesel? But yeah, low and wide and a little bit different to the GU. So that was from Brody Betts, by the way. Sorry if I'm not saying the names all the time. Ash's GQ, what do you do for work, and what inspired you to put yourself through the torture of restoring and building full drives? So like I said before, I'm sort of like a mechanic. It just fixes a little bit of everything. And what inspired me is, I don't know, I watched TJ and Mac for a long time. I watch a lot of guys from America. I watched Sam Isles as well for a long time, and he definitely inspired me. TJ and Mac definitely inspired me at the start. Like, TJ's a wizard on the editing. Just sort of, I don't know, putting myself out there, trying something new. Just all sort of worked out. GQ Coily says, do you think a coil cab or wagon is more practical for a weekend camping bush car? Weekend camping / bush car. Oh, I'm gonna say 100% a wagon, because it's already got an enclosed safe section to store your stuff for camping and stuff like that. But you know, the ute builds, they're really cool. Some are very unique, and they've got a canopy on the back, and you know, you don't smash obviously panels and stuff. XSJ, hey man, love your vids, but where do you see yourself in a couple of years? Oh, look, I see myself, hopefully, you know, we can get some of this content underway and we can start doing some traveling. I'm all about, at the moment, trying to get a really nice lifestyle. Raiden04 says, GU or GQ Patrol? Look, I love GQ Patrols. I think they're so nice to drive. They're really good for full driving because you can see out of them. They're very predictable with where your wheels are. I feel like you can wheel them a lot better. The GU is super comfy, super safe compared to the GQ. Put my kids in it, no worries, and it's got leather interior and stuff like that. So they're just two different worlds. But if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, honestly, at the moment, I would probably pick the GQ. He's also asked, what made you get into cars, and what's your favorite car? I don't know what made me get into cars, man. I've always been obsessed with them. Like, even when I was, 6, I used to collect the Hot Wheels, and I had Street Machine magazines. I used to rip the cars out of them, stick them on my wall. tough streeters and stuff like that. So I've always been into cars. They are more than an obsession for me. They are like a full lifestyle. Favorite car in the whole wide world, what would that be? Favorite car. God, I have no idea what my favorite car would be. I assume you mean car and full drive and everything of the above, but let's go favorite car first. It would probably at the moment be, look, I would love an R35 GTR. I would also love a 32 GTR or any GTR probably. I like VLs, VK Commodores. What else? I even like the early Falcons. I love old school cars. Yeah, I don't know. And then favorite four-wheel drive is definitely probably a GQ Patrol. If you had a chance to get any of your old cars back, what would it be and why? Look, I'd love to get Cole back. Cole would be awesome to just have here just because I built it. That's the reason. Also, we had a 67 HR Holden. The only reason I sold that is because I didn't have anywhere to store it. But now that we've got the house, I could store it out the back with a cover on it. So I'd love to get that back as well and just keep it just because it's an old piece of history. It was built in Brisbane. So it's only 45 minutes from me. And yeah, like it would be awesome to have all my cars back, to be honest. I don't know. I had these like really, really cheap S13 Silvias. I had two of them. So yeah, I used to work on them. And then Harry had a LN106 Hilux with the tub on the back. And it was on 33s, and that was pretty cool to go for a ride in. Then Chris bought Cole. That's who I bought Cole off. And I thought that was cool. I went for a ride in that. And then the industry just boomed in my area. Like I was on the sunny coast and everyone got full drives. So then I liked full drives and I realized how much fun you can have in them. You can go anywhere, do anything. And we used to go night full drive and we used to go glassy all the time, Roy's Road, all of that sort of stuff. Steak Sauce says, do you use guards on your grinders now? Let's talk about this for a second. I have never used a grinder without a guard except for this time. So what happened is I went to Harry's house to help him work on his new GQ. We're cutting his roof off. I was just grinding one little tack weld. The grinder grabbed into the tack weld and it's only a little 4-inch grinder without the shield on it, and it literally just shot straight into my chest. So I actually told him before it happened that these grinders are dangerous without the guard on it, and it was also a 240 volt one, so it wasn't a battery one. And I also said that you should get some battery ones before I use this grinder, and I only had to make a 1 centimeter cut. So that goes to show you not to use even for 1 second a grinder without a shield. All my grinders here, I mean, I'll show you. This is my grinder here, and I haven't used this since we fixed the rust, which is before, but it still has the shield on it. And if I go into my other grinders, this Azito one, it still has the shield on it. I've also got this Makita one here, and it still has the shield on it as well. Yeah, look, I never, ever at home here use a grinder without a shield. I know how dangerous they are, and I knew when I picked up his that it was dangerous, and yeah, I will never be using one even if it's for a second ever again without the shield on it. Jay Gregory BMX says, are you rebuilding the TD or putting something different in the GQ? It doesn't actually need a rebuild. It is a little bit tickety, but now that it's out, I'm going to be able to investigate that a little bit more. I was going to do a bottom end rebuild on it with the bearings. I've got the bearings here. But yeah, I might just leave it closed up and we'll just see how she goes. Chris Ledswith, what got you into the modifying scene? So the reason I started is when I had my little rice rockets, I was trying to modify them to be cool and to be a little bit faster. So I was working on them, and the only reason I would be working on them is because I just wasn't making much money back then. I think I was on like 20 bucks an hour or something. So at 20 bucks an hour and, you know, paying rent and stuff at the time, and being a young bloke with no tools, I was forced to learn to sort my own problems out. God, there's still a few more questions. I hope you guys at home aren't getting too bored. Riley Kelly, what's your favorite build you've done? Oh, this one here is by far my favorite already. Like this color, look at the color. Look at that color. It just looks so good on chrome. And I can't wait for it to be done. Am I blocking that chrome wheel? I think I am. We'll sit here. Diesel, you sit there. Jane Bond 4x4, what year is a 4J motor? Looking to put one in my D22 nav. Good idea, mate. It is a 2010 RC Colorado, I believe, motor. And I think they are the good ones if I am not wrong. Benny Reynolds says, what made you go with the Patrols, mate? Patrols, in my opinion, are the best bang for buck. But yeah, that's the reason I went with Patrols. They're super cheap. They're common. The parts are easy to get. They're heavily modified, so there's like Patrol forums and stuff you can go on and read and solve problems and stuff like that, and they're just super tough and reliable. Curly's 42, would you build another GQ Ute again? Well, Harry actually has another GQ Ute now, so you'll probably see that on the channel at some point, and we will do something with that. Reese Sherlock says, are you ever going to do a video of TJ and Mac? Would be sick. Yeah, I'd love to. It's just, we have spoken about it before too, but the timing just never worked out. And yeah, obviously I'm a little bit of a loner over here, so it'd be cool to film with them. But I'd definitely be a little bit nervous. I've been watching them for a long time, so yeah, would be a little bit nerve-wracking doing a video with them. Oliver McCleese. Oliver says, when you're going to learn to TIG alley? Would love to see more fab work. Look, right here underneath you guys once again, this is a TIG machine here, a Renegade one. It's only an El Cheapo and a fresh bottle of gas up there. I actually bought that for my birthday in July 2 years ago now. Honestly, I spend all my time editing and getting these videos out and filming them, and I just haven't had time to sit down and get the practice in. Ben Alexander says, when is a 4J swap for the Triton? Actually, that would be quite a funny episode, but the Triton's motor is still kicking bloody strong. So Keegs106 says, end goal for the GQ. End goal would be to just get it out on the tracks, get it finished, and yeah, just enjoy the car and have a really nice GQ. Liam Woodford says, what keeps you motivated to continue on YouTube? God, that's a good question. Sometimes, man, I do not want to do YouTube. I wake up on a Saturday and I want to go and do stuff that normal people do, but I got to come in the shed and film an episode. So that's what I was kind of saying before. It does kind of start feeling like a job rather than enjoying it, and it is really hard. But what keeps me going is when you're out and about and you see someone and they say, g'day, I watch your videos, I watched your headlight video and it helped me with my headlight video. So it's this sense of like helping people out and showing people that these big projects can be done in small areas on small budgets by yourself in the shed, or, you know, just helping people out is what keeps me going. Jaden Dino says, love your videos, bro. Keep up the great work. When is the mighty Triton? When will it be back? So I actually had no plans on bringing the Triton back at all, but after today, guys, I think we're going to have to. Colby says, are you going to fix a dent in the passenger side of Ron? And also love the paint job, mate. I love that you guys are already calling it Ron Burgundy. So let's have a look at this dent. This dent here is not actually a dent. Like, it is a dent. It is definitely a dent. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show this properly, but if I push on that door on the inside, the dent is gone. So it's not actually a dent, it's just the way the steel is kind of like keeping its memory. So all I've got to do is put a piece of steel in here and glue it to the door, so it's kind of holding that like that. So pretty much, yes, I am going to fix it, but it's not actually a dent. And for some reason, Cole had the exact same thing. It might be a GQ thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely Cole had it on this passenger door as well. Shaq says, do you think you'll do bigger horsepower petrol/diesel builds in the future? Yeah, man, I would love to build something for diesel assault at some point, some sort of lightweight car, and big diesel motor or little diesel motor pushing big power, or we go a petrol at some point, like either a Barra or a TB turbo, and that'll just be like a fun build that we can do, maybe an eBay turbo kit on a TB45 or something like that. Baxter says, is the G running any permanent 12 volt or a portable box? It is running a portable box, but let me show you what happened to it. This is the battery box here that I've been running. It's from EcoFlow, but what happened is it was absolutely covered in pink paint from doing this because the off spray of the paint was pink for some reason. I wiped it down with some thinners and it's gone all white and cracked. You guys can see that. So she's kind of flogged out looking at the moment, but obviously it still works. In the near future, when this is driving, because I'm going to have to drive this in and out of the shed, it's really hard to push it in and out. So when this is driving, we'll probably get this out and then we'll get the GU in, and I want to do a 12 volt setup in the back of it. Ben O'Brien says you should do a build that one of us could do at home with our type of budget and stuff. That's what we did with the Triton. I did like basic tools and also a $2,000 budget. I would love to do it again because it was super fun, and it's just like a much easier way to film content. This sort of stuff, you know, I'm putting a lot of hours into it and not getting a lot of views and return on what I'm doing, which doesn't matter because I love doing it, but at the same time, the budget stuff, a lot easier, a lot cheaper, and everyone loves it. So I'm definitely getting back into that. Jet Phyton says, what was wrong with the ZD? Seen people make decent power out of them. Absolutely nothing wrong with the ZD. I think they're still great motors. I think they still push good power. They're just quite expensive to get there. And I just wanted to do something different and keep some content coming your way. K Mackerel says, when is there going to be any more trips? And do you still have the Mighty Triton? Obviously, said before, still got the Mighty Triton. It's so funny how many of you guys love it. I love that you love it. Definitely is going to be more trips. I just got to get organized. I actually bought a fair heap of camera gear. There's some right here. I bought this little DJI. It's like a GoPro, but my GoPro that I had is really old and it kept freezing. I bought a gimbal for my phone so I can get some smooth footage when we're out on the tracks. That camera that you guys are on isn't the best for stability, so when we're on the tracks, I'll be using my phone on the gimbal. So we've got 3 cameras now to sort of film with, and that is all for getting out on these trips. I've also got the drone as well. So I have been investing a little bit of money into trying to get out there and film some more stuff outside. Matt as a party said, how's the shed going? Yeah, it's really, really good. It's a lot better to work in here since I did the cladding and the aircon. The aircon has been a lifesaver, and then having the fridge in here as well with water and stuff in it is also, it's been amazing as well. Matt as a party said, ever thought of doing a low build like a 2x4 Navara Hilux slammed on some clean wheels? Let me know if you guys would want to see that, because that's kind of what I'm thinking with the diesel assault car, is we buy like a little workmate or something like that, a little Hilux, 1KD in it, and then build that. 3857R34 says, do you have any qualifications? I got a few tickets, mate. I got like a electrical ticket, and I've got like some training from some companies that we work with, and I've got a ultra high jetting license, so I can work on up to, I think it's 40,000 PSI pressure cleaners, which is, I do a few of them. So these big motors, they drive these huge pumps, and I fix all them. So to fix them, I've got to test them as well. And yeah, so I've got like tickets and licenses and stuff like that, but I don't actually have a trade. I am a 3rd year plumber. That's what I did out of school, and then I got into the job I'm in. I've been doing that for over 10 years now. Matt as a party again says, what's your daily at the moment? It is the GU at the moment. I see a lot of guys waving to me on the highway, so there's probably a few that are seeing me going back and forth to work and home. So yeah, GU at the moment, but typically it is a Triton is what I drive. Jack Truey says, GQ interior mods, painting dash, etc. black. Yes, GQ interior mods will be coming very soon. I've just got to order some of the stuff that I'm thinking. And I've also got a few companies working with us on some stuff. So I kind of wanted to do one big episode on the interior, but I don't want to be over the top, but I just want it to be really nice. So I'm excited for that. Darcy Knox says, will we beach drive it? 100%. Take it to the Cape? 100%. JB Patrol says, where did your full drive passion come from? Just came from modifying full drives, having fun with them. Yeah, I just like going out full driving. Aussies hate mozzies. What a great name. Mate, when will there be a cruiser build on the channel? As soon as the bank account says yes. Dylan McCallum says, most looking forward to with the build, what horsepower will you be looking at of the build? So 170 horse, and the thing I'm most looking forward to is the first drive. I love the first drive. Getting this motor in there, first startup too, that's going to be so good. We turn the key, and here it goes. And for the lucky last question from Vetchty04, do you reckon you will ever do a GU Ute build? A GU Ute. Yes, I reckon that could be on the cards if we get one cheap enough, because They're pretty comfortable cars, and utes are obviously really good to go off-road with. So I think if one popped up super cheap, I wouldn't hesitate to buy it, maybe put a 4J in it. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, we'll do something. That is all the questions, guys. That was a long questionnaire, but I do really appreciate everyone asking those questions on Instagram. Next time I'll be a little bit more organized, and I'll also put up some questionnaires on YouTube as well. So you guys at home that aren't following me on Instagram can jot them into the comments and ask. But if you do have any questions, please do that. Put them down in the comment section below and I will answer them. I thought I'd bring you guys into my office and show you where I edit the videos, and we'll get a little bit more personal, eh? But behind me, you can see this is my study. I've kind of been working on this as well, and I might even show you guys the bathroom that I'm doing over in the other side of the house. But we've kind of been working on this in the background. It's certainly not finished, but it is a lot better than what I used to have. So as you can see, I've got like kind of a little corner thing going on. Over in this section here, there will be a couch eventually, and that way you can watch the TV up on the wall. That TV is hooked up to my computer as well, so when I finish an edit, I can chuck it up on this TV and sit here and then watch the episode like a lot of you guys would be watching at home on a TV rather than watching it on my computer. For this desk, I actually built, I got the material all from Bunnings, and I've just put some like little angle brackets bolted into the wall there. So nice little neat setup. Desk can be quite expensive. This whole desk setup cost me under $200 to do. A big corner desk like this is very expensive to buy. So you guys can see that even in my house, I am a bit of a budget guy. But yeah, so we've got the corner desk there. These little cabinets here, I also ordered through Bunnings online, just a little timber cabinet just to store more camera stuff and receipts and stuff like that will be going in there. Over here, we've got another one of those little drawers. There's one on each side. Got nothing in them because I literally only just put them together. We've got the label printer, got some art that the kids drew, so I like to keep this sort of stuff around. We've got photo, Pop's first camera. I thought that was really cool to keep in here. We've got my computer monitor, keyboard, mouse, microphone. I do want to get a better microphone. This is what I do my voiceovers on. And we've got my computer. Now, I don't know too much about computers. Back in the day, this thing was an absolute weapon. It's probably outdated now, so I will need to upgrade at some point. And then this is typically just the part where I just do all my charging. You can't keep this neat at all because I just need so many different cords, but we've got some stuff from Bunnings, like a charger port, we've got the drone, and normally all my camera stuff's out here, but at the moment it's in the shed. It's a nice little spot to work in here. I've got a full sliding door at the front here as well. And that's really nice to have. I've got nice light in here. It's a nice desk to sit at. Good computer chair. It's nice and comfy, but I do need another one that's starting to fall apart. And over here we have the IKEA shelves that we bought. If you did buy a shirt, it would have come from here originally. Alicia and I were packing the orders. So yeah, at the moment we've got no stock though, just only a few hats left. But yeah, we are redoing all our stock and we won't be storing it in our house anymore. It will go through a company. So now I just keep my camera bag and a few other bits and pieces here. This will most likely all change. We still will be distributing our stickers from here when I get the new ones in. So that will basically be these post bags, grab a sticker, print off the label goes on the box and gets sent out to you. So you can kind of see what we are doing here. So yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit interesting for you guys to see the other side of what I do in the study here. Spend a lot of time in here, a lot of time in the shed, a lot of time in here getting these videos out and getting them edited. But that is all I have to show you guys. I would like to start doing some more vlogs. I think we should do one every 6 weeks or something like that, where we just do a walk around and talk about stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, drop them in the comments below and I will try and answer them. But thank you so much for all the support on every episode that you watch. If you're liking the videos, I really appreciate it. And hopefully you guys are excited for what is to come in the future for Roam Life. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna start editing this video. Cheers everyone for watching, and I will see you next week when we get back to work on the GQ. I'll throw another little bonus clip in of the other stuff that I am working on at the moment, but this is the current state of our main bathroom in the house. So I've knocked everything out, chiseled up the floor. I've then put some cement sheeting up ready for all the tiles. We've replumbed it. We've done lights up in the ceiling, but I've still got to obviously sheet the ceiling there. But we are doing a full reno in here at the same time as building these cars and stuff. So this has taken a lot of time even to get to this point, but I figured I'd just show you guys. It gives you more insight to what's going on in my life. But this is going to be really, really nice when this is done. Maybe it would help me as well if we could get the camera out here and film some of the reno stuff and put that up on YouTube. I think that might be pretty cool. So let me know if you'd like to see some reno and stuff, some behind the scenes stuff, and I might get it happening. But yeah, catch you guys later.